Assalamu alaikum, greetings, one love. Thank you all for coming along this evening to this powerful 2-day seminar, Secure Health, Secure Mind. We've just finished our Back to Black retreat in Lulé in Portugal. Wow, it was a fantastic, fabulous experience. Wow, absolutely phenomenal. We're going to be posting pictures and videos. We're so involved. I mean, I didn't even get a chance to promote this event because the build up to the Back to Black retreat was so much. I don't even know how to put it into words, into a nutshell. And then the execution, we all gave our all. Everyone gave 3,000%. It was just a phenomenal event all round. And, you know, I'm so beat and blasted by it, but I so wanted to do this course. I was planning to do it. And I know that those that have signed up, you're serious about these courses because continuous learning is the key. Continuous checking in is the key. Continuous upgrade to your arsenal of linguistic inner programming is necessary in this time. Even with the tune that I just played, like, don't stop. Just, we're not stopping around here. We're not stopping because when we're talking about secure health, secure mind, we would like to think that we have a solid support system around us, schools, governments, or that would sincerely operate in a function that allows people to flourish. It seems like, and this is not a conspiracy or anything to do with that. We're not here to create propaganda or rebel against this or that or the other. But when we look at the facts, even if we look at the facts of nutrition and food and the lack of nutrients in the soil and the fact that because you're not getting enough nutrition in the soil, you're now overeating to compensate. And one of the key aspects of depression is obesity. One of the key aspects of overeating is because we're not nourishing our bodies. So when we're doing this 2-day seminar, Secure Health, Secure Mind, we're looking at creating a vivacious aptitude towards really taking on the tools and skills and insight on a deep level to know what you can do for self, like really creating the self-discipline, because that's what it's really going to take, anchoring into a self-discipline that's going to nourish your health, mind, and really put together the synergy of what we call mind-body-soul connection. It's oftenly just thrown away, put out there, you know, one, because we don't understand the mind. One, because we don't understand the body. We're not biologists, and we seldom even refer to the soul in its truest context. So it's a bit of a mumbo jumbo scenario when we're trying to really align ourselves correctly with the right knowledge that applies in its simplest forms. And sometimes we shouldn't overlook simplicity. Sometimes we should start with simple things and let those build the solid foundations for you to then go into a higher perception of taking on deeper knowledge in health or mind mechanics, understanding mind mapping, understanding how to even go into the realms of inner hypnosis maybe, or self-hypnosis maybe. Looking into the tools that are going to really assist you in bringing about a secure discipline pattern to ensure secure health and secure mind. And this is what this 2-day course is all about. And I didn't even want to rest from the retreat because I wanted to come in fired up, off of the energy, off of the knowledge that was shared, off of the insights that we were just literally engaged in. And I know that I've got some nuggets to share conceptually wise, because it's really good to meet new people And it gives you a fresh idea and a fresh understanding of talking to different ranges of people when there's a plethora of issues to deal with, and you can find a common thread, find common patterns, that it's not necessarily a one pill fits all, but more so understanding what are the basics that you need to be applying. And overlooking these basics creates mayhem in the entire system. So, and we're going to be itemizing and looking at all the factors so you can pinpoint and recognize when these loopholes, when these patterns, and instead of taking them, when these patterns arise, even by thought, even by feeling, even by attitude or aptitude, even by habit, and be able to compartmentalize them. And don't label yourself by your habits. Don't label yourself by your experiences. Understand that the greatest thing that you have on your side is the ability to change. We have the greatest element about our psyche as human beings over animals, and that is change, raising our potential to change and overcome however it is we see ourselves, however it is we accept ourselves, however it is we portray ourselves. And those three fundamental things are primarily your basic tools of going about in your day-to-day manner. So let's dive straight into the slideshow and start breaking down the elements of secure health, secure mind. And I'm just going to do one thing. You just give me a moment. Lovely. Good. So without further ado, let's jump straight in. The topic is secure health, secure mind. And what we're looking at is how to create that perfect synergy between heart consciousness, brain consciousness. You know, there's a lot of times I speak about heart consciousness and dwell on it as a main factor of priority for people to address, only because they spent such a long time not addressing heart consciousness as if it isn't there. And it is a high priority to recognize heart consciousness, its traits, its strengths, and its ability to guide. Now, a lot of people may start meditation, especially the meditations that we do on Transcending Matters, empowering ourselves with prana, empowering ourselves with focus, intent, and sharpening our visualization, accepting the sense of the presence of the soul energy in the heart, the energetic aspects that creates energy for the body to live. We witness this in our meditations. What's more to achieve is to sustain that feeling rather than just recognizing that it's there and go, oh, I had a lovely feeling this morning in meditation. How do we take this to empower our brain, our mind, our intelligence, our reasoning capability? How do we use our heart consciousness to change our habits? How do we use our heart consciousness to bring in conscientiousness, not mental conscientiousness? Because sometimes mental conscientiousness could be working in a negative loop, which then cancels out intuitive thinking and brings anxiety to the heart. And you'll be thinking that because you've got anxiety happening in the heart consciousness is involved. No, that's almost like when you're feeling anxiety in the heart, it's like yourself telling yourself that you're not listening to yourself. It's a very strange one. It's a very strange one. Panic, for instance, fear and excitement creates the same chemicals in the body. And these chemicals react. You get the same sweat, pulsy feeling, you get the sticky fingers, you get the sweat in the middle of your hands, whether you're excited about something or whether you're fearful about something. The trigger is what's happening in the mind. It's got nothing to do with what's chemically happening in the body. It's what's happening in the mind or what's triggering this action in the mind. Now, when this feeling happens without the mind being involved, without a direct, instruction from consciousness to make this happen. This could be what yogis called going into samadhi or going into a blissful state where they go into praying, into meditation. For instance, they might be in meditation, they might do their mantra meditation, and then they'll go into silent meditation. They keep the mind silent, they keep everything silent. They don't want to tune into no noise pollution. They cut it all out and they listen until they don't want to listen. And in that space of silence, they allow bliss to open up for itself. And boom, this is what they call going into praying, going into trance. They might fall into tears. Sorry, my voice is a little bit rough. This is because I've been screaming and laughing and singing and shouting through the week, but let's bear up with it. So let's roll on. That's the backdrop. So unlocking holistic health, section 1, embracing the mind-body connection. In this enlightening section, we will delve into the profound concept of the mind-body connection and its profound impact on our overall health and well-being. The mind and body are intrinsically intertwined, constantly influencing and affecting each other. By embracing this connection, we can unlock the secrets of achieving optimum health, vitality, and inner harmony, which is very, very important. What we have to understand when we talk about inner harmony is that the more that mental concoction is happening, the more that the mind is bringing up what I call mind farts or mental BO or noise pollution of your own fruition, you know, a moan, a groan, a pet peeve or whatever. And then your muscles get attached to it. You start tensing up to it. You start responding and following the orders of what your mind is telling you to do. And your mind is irritated. You start behaving irritating. You're now putting yourself out of disharmony. You're now breaking down your immune system. You're now opening yourself to a plethora of states that would invite unwellness of mind, unwellness of being, unwellness of body. So again, in that space of being locked up, you have to use twice the energy to do the simplest of things. So understanding this intertwining of what's happening in the mind, how you're listening to your inner voice, how you've trained your inner voice. We're going to be looking at this very deep. How you've trained your inner voice, how you listen to this in your head. And how this in your head now has got you dancing like a puppet. So during the session, you will explore the interplay, gain a deeper understanding of how our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs directly impact our physical well-being. Discover how stress, negative thought patterns, and emotional states can manifest as physical ailments. Thank you very much. And this is a very serious thing. Again, there is so many triggers in society, whether it's social media, whether it's the television, whether it's just people bonding in misery, whether it's people gossiping. We're going to be looking at this. You've got to be so sensitive of how your thought plays out in your body, how thought patterns play out in your behavior. Your own thought patterns could be making you sick. Your own thought patterns could be pushing you away from your own sweet spot. We're going to be looking at the dangers of a narcissistic mindset and how it amplifies any form of sickness in your being. We're going to look at why I say your mind is not your best friend, and why it pushes you out of a space of truth, how you work out of correlation with what the principles of all this chakra talk, all of this blah talk of inner being and blah. It sounds so nice when you say it, blah, but how do you apply it so you have a secure mindset that creates a secure, healthy being and a secure mind? The reason why I called it secure health, secure mind is understanding that you have to bring about a sense of security. Now, you know, like you have a security company, you have security guards, you have security officers. You have to develop a security system for your thoughts, for your thought patterns, for your thought behaviors. You know, you have to be really sensitive and assertive, not understanding how the thoughts create or how they manifest. You have to also be careful of how it not only impacts you, impacts others around you, how it works with the correlation of the three modes of nature, the mode of sattva, mode of goodness, mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. Now, sometimes we're operating in the mode of ignorance, thinking that we're doing good. We're only creating harm for ourselves and others around us. So we have to be very careful of the ignorant energy, especially when it plays out in the mind. There's 7 levels that I speak of when we talk deep of alignment. The first level is physicality, and this is health itself. Then between physicality and psychology is physiology. That's the chain. Now, for instance, in your physiological makeup, the physiological makeup is the expression of what the physical wants to do because of what's happening in the psychological realm. So, for instance, if you're psychologically mad, or if you're psychologically depressed, but you could be physically well, your physiology won't represent the wellness of what you truly are, because you will walk, you will talk, you will carry yourself in a manner that suits more the psychological makeup. It's a very deep intrinsic connection that we're looking at here. And the psychological makeup needs to have a security system put into place where we're literally policing our thoughts. If vetting our thoughts. And this is understanding the power of reflection. Now, in the first instance, when I teach about reflection, I talk about reflecting at the end of the day, thinking about the events that have happened through the day, thinking about how you could have done better, thinking about how you could have brought more joy into your life and others. When you bring a security system into place that allows and makes you check that every 15 minutes of the day, now we're talking. Now we're on to something. It's not just, you reached in, done so bad, I'll just leave it. Next day, it's just getting worse, I'll just leave it. Because you're just ending in that same chain of pattern. And again, if you're not doing the meditation in the morning, if you're not plugging in to the subconscious level of being to tap into change, the same triggers are going to happen again, time and time again. You're going to get triggered, bang, you go. Triggered, go again. And in the trigger of the thought pattern, the physiology breaks into play. Then the physicality has to follow. Then the expression comes. The energetic signature is now, like when you say the eyes are the windows to the soul. This is one of the things that we went through deeply on the retreat. Understanding the energy of someone's energetic signature just by looking at their eyes. For instance, you can tell if someone's looking at someone in a very loving way or in a very patronizing way. And this is just by the eyes, regardless of what is being said by the mouth. So the eyes give off a lot of information. The eyes are even more correlated to the physical and physiological realm. That happens at speed lightning. It's like, when you see someone get a shock, you see in their eyes, the eyeballs dilate, boom, Jesus, did that just happen? The eyes respond at such an alarming speed. So, and that's regardless of whether the event is external, i.e. it's just happened in front of them, or internal in their imagination. For instance, you could be looking at somebody and you see their eyes shift and you say, what was you just thinking about? No, I saw your eyes do something, just kidding. What was you thinking about? And that eye shift was like a registration or an acceptance of a code on a subconscious level for the whole body to now follow suit as to what was just manifested as a thought. It's very deep. So, cultivating mindful awareness. This is where we're talking about the policing system. Learn powerful mindfulness techniques. And when we talk about, mindfulness is a throwaway word for me in how it's used. People just say it as, oh yeah, mindfulness. No, when we're talking literally what I was just talking about, those elements and bringing in a policing system on that psychological level. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. It's that kind of concept. So, for instance, flippancy is a very, I don't know what to say. Flippancy is a high sign of disregard of self. you've got to be careful of the thought patterns that you entertain, because those very same thought patterns are developing a pattern of inner illness and inner inability to recognize that beauty that resonates within the heart, and knowing how to stay and live from that space. Outside of that space is retribution. Outside of that space is insecurities. You don't know which way the wind is going to blow. You feel like that, you sense it, you just, it's entertaining a sense of being lost. That sense of being lost heightens the sense of depression, heightens the sense of lack of worthiness, heightens the sense of self-respect. So it's a very, very deep structure that we have to unfold and really put in the pins of support that are needed to know that on a physical level, you're doing this, you're drinking your water, all of these things, You got your sleep pattern right, you're doing your exercises, and then there's the mental disciplines, and then you've got the physiological disciplines. Today I've got Sister Laverne, who she was teaching yoga and also doing some excellent Thai massage sessions and some consulting on posture alignment, and she's going to be coming in to give you some deeper hints and tips in alignment of what I'm talking about. And the reason why I'm looking at new ways, not even so much new ways, but deeper ways of it's all the same spiritual knowledge, it's all the same metaphysical knowledge, it's the same holistic knowledge. It's just expressed at different levels, and it's an eye-opener, because every time we do these retreats and we get new people and a new crowd, and sometimes we have people that's just not even heard of the word retreat, they just saw the advert and decided to come. And seeing that we have to now bring our linguistic ability to install the same valuable knowledge, but in a way that relates to how the person understands it according to their level, who's never, there's a cross pollination of different levels. We've got people on the retreats that's been studying all the courses from the time that Transcending Matters began, all 350 to 400 hours and accumulating and more. And we've got completely new people coming in through the door and being able to deliver without copying, without plagiarizing, and also bringing new insightful level of information that adds to, embellishes, uplifts, and inspires others to A, get on board, and B, build themselves to a greater sense of being. Then Transcending Matters is doing exactly what we set out to do. And so when we're talking about secure health, secure mind, the next aspect we're going to be looking at is harnessing the power of positive thinking and nourishing the mind and body, understanding the vital role. Understanding the vital role of nutrition, exercise, and self-care practices in maintaining a healthy mind and body. Explore the impact of lifestyle choices and on your well-being, and learn how to make conscious decisions that support optimum health. So let's move on. So the first thing we want to look at and understand is the power of the subconscious mind. We've heard so much things about the subconscious mind, but how relative is it to really dig deep into the not only the understanding but the application of delving into the subconscious mind? We have what I'd call false premises, belief patterns, ideologies of, that's the way I grew up. I like what I like. That's how my parents showed me, that's a traditional thing that we do. That's me, how I understand. I can't see myself changing. I've never liked this type of thing, da 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 da. All of these things are rooted programs of the subconscious self that there's a funny way to kind of express it on a Vedantic or a spiritual level, because understanding the flow of life is knowing the flow of the subconscious self and how it operates. And not, for instance, a yogi who is practicing or channeling his energies to do something extreme, as let's say levitate. And levitation is not just something you can learn in a couple of years. You'd think that someone has to go completely doolally to even think that he can levitate. So think of what's going on in his mind and how much instructions he's putting into his subconscious self to accept that the body can levitate. An easy comparison. You might say levitation is a far out one, but let me give you another comparison, which I'll bring it straight home. Swimming. As soon as I say swimming, my mind says I can't swim. I was pushed. We had a swimming pool when I was at secondary school. I was pushed into the water by some associates, let's call them that. And at that time, I hadn't learned to swim. So my impressions was, I'm drowning. Splash, 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 I'm drowning. People dived into the water to rescue me. And from that point, I've always had a fear of deep waters. I've always said to myself, you must go and learn how to swim. I've even taken one or maybe two. I can swim in the shallow end, but there's and it's not even great swimming. All the kids around me, like, they're consistently laughing at me. I just get into the swimming pool just to have fun, literally. And, I might do a silly stroke. It's not even an official breaststroke or an official backstroke, or I call it a silly stroke. And I'm fearful that I might bang my head. So by the time I've done 3 strokes, I'm checking to see what's behind me. All the fear symptoms are kicking off. Unless I get serious of changing, which can be done. But I just won't be bothered. Let's put it, it's down to some form of mental laziness that's going down, that I won't challenge my inability to swim. And it's me doing it to me. All because of one experience. I know I'm not my experience. But I'm allowing myself to be a product of my experience. because I just won't challenge that fear. And that's my own injustice. I've got loads of people around me that, come on, I'll teach you how to swim. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I should do it. It's a great life skill to have. They say it's never too late. You know, so the power of the subconscious mind is something that we really need to address. And I'm even pinching myself here because the word need is another object that is in the word, because anything you need, you fear in the sense that you will not go after it. Need is a fear within itself. Using the word need heightens the sense of fear. So when I'm really talking about policing our thoughts, policing our attitudes, policing our words, because everything counts. So the power of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is an extraordinary force within us, operating silently and effortlessly beneath our conscious awareness. Scientific research has revealed fascinating insights into the speed and power of the subconscious mind, highlighting its profound influence on our thoughts, behaviors, and overall well-being. Studies have shown that the subconscious mind processes information at an astonishing speed. Now I've seen figures all over the place. I've seen 40 million, 50 million, 10 million. I would say, really don't even try and get to just, you know, it's approaching the idea, because we have the conscious realm, which is very finite. The subconscious realm is semi. And the supraconscious self is infinite. So when we're given figures, you know, that's an astounding 40 million bits of information per second. This vast process capacity allows the subconscious mind to quickly analyze patterns, make connections, and guide our actions, often without us even realizing it. We're on autopilot. Moreover, the subconscious mind plays a crucial role in shaping our beliefs, attitudes, and habits. It is deeply ingrained with our past experiences, conditioning, and learned behaviors. Let me read that again, because that's not a very light thing. Moreover, the subconscious mind plays a crucial role in shaping our beliefs, You think that you're creating your subconscious mind is shaping your beliefs. When you're shaping your beliefs are made out of a pattern of thoughts. You put the thoughts in, the subconscious mind creates a belief. You put a thought in, or you allow a thought to go in. For instance, you're watching the news, and the news is reporting knife stabbings, black on black crime, horror in the black community. The the typical image of a young male with a black cap, black hoodie, blacked out. Now, you're not creating any feelings toward this. You could be just watching the news. You're not even, it's just there. Now, the subconscious self goes, click, 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 click. Do you like that? No. Okay. Click, click, click. Do you like that? No. Okay. Click, click. Do you like that? No. Okay. Click, 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 click. This is happening at 1 billion bits of information per second. All of a sudden, you've got this feeling that you don't like it. In fact, you don't like anybody that even looks like that now. In fact, anything that looks like your mind, oh yeah, I remember when and automatically a whole plethora of behaviors, a whole plethora of judgment comes into play, a whole plethora of sequences coming into play that now you start to look down on someone just because how they're dressed, just because an action you may see them doing that you may not like yourself. And your thought patterns, for instance, you might be out with friends and it's a bunch of vegetarians that are out with friends and they're all out eating and someone in the party orders a chicken burger. And the horror in the mind of the others, you see it in their eyes. The judgment, you can see it in their eyes. The falsities, no, it's okay. You can hear it in their voice. Automatically. And from that point on, the behavior of the rest of the group towards the person that eats chicken will change. It is a deeply ingrained with our past experiences, conditioning, and learned behaviors. You only need to see something that reminds you of something bad in your mind, and you're completely, you could have loved it, and you just see one thing that associates something with something bad, and all of a sudden everything changes. This is the power of the subconscious mind. And you think, no, you have to vet what goes in. You have to vet what it is you truly believe. And you have to vet what it is you truly want to express. These three components are key. So let me read this again. Moreover, the subconscious mind plays a crucial role in shaping our beliefs, attitudes, and habits. It is deeply ingrained with our past experiences, conditioning, and learned behaviors. Through processes such as neuroplasticity, the subconscious mind can rewire neural pathways, allowing for the formation of new beliefs and the adoption of empowering habits. This demonstrates the immense power of the subconscious mind in influencing our perception, decisions, and ultimately our reality. Let me read that last sentence again. This demonstrates the immense power of the subconscious mind in influencing our perceptions. It's very important to understand when I talk about the perceived self, the intellectual self, and the emotional self, and how they are all tied as to what is called the ego, the tool of the mind that triggers behaviors. So if you want to change your reality, you have to change your mindset. If you want to change your reality, you have to change your energetic signature. You have to change your thinking habits. You have to change your expression habits. You have to secure them with a security system, even if that security system is a rubber band around your hand. And every time you think a thought that, you know, that thought that's not a nice thought. You shouldn't have thought, that's not a nice, pull the rubber band, snap yourself, and what would happen is the next time, few while, the mind would go, yeah, the subconscious mind would learn it doesn't like the sting. It doesn't like the rubber band. You're programming the subconscious mind to stop mind farting these loops. You break the loop. And as soon as you get, boy, that, no, don't say it, don't think it, don't do it. Don't go there. Don't be narcissistic. Don't be bitter. Don't be sarcastic. You know, sarcasm makes people sick. The sarcasm that you're letting out makes you sick, and it's your attempt to make someone else sick. When you're being sarcastic to someone, you're attempting to make them unwell. So we really have to dig deep on securing, especially our mouth, our mind, our attitudes, our thoughts. We need to police our thoughts. This is the first place. Yoga begins with the mind. The highest level of yoga is once you grasp the idea of buddhi yoga, intelligent thinking. This was the last thing we spoke about on the retreat. The yoga of intelligence, the yoga of intelligent thinking, because it affects both the mind and body. How it relates to the three gunas, the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, and the mode of ignorance. If you're being ignorant, how do you expect goodness to come back? One and one always make two. If you're putting out ignorance, how do you expect goodness to come back? So, understanding the scientific facts about the speed and power of the subconscious mind offers a glimpse into the vast potential that lies within us. By harnessing and aligning our conscious and subconscious minds, we can tap into this incredible force, unlocking new levels of personal growth, self-improvement, and transformative change. The journey of exploring and harnessing the power of the subconscious mind is an invitation to delve deeper into our own inner workings and unlock the extraordinary possibilities that await us. I truly have a true desire to actually want to swim. And I'm going to hold a level of accountability that I'm going to learn to swim this year, no matter what it takes. And the reason why I'm talking about it, because I want to do it so much, I'm going to do it. So, firstly, the subconscious mind is not, now this is the next thing that we must talk about, the incapabilities of the subconscious mind. Firstly, the subconscious mind is not capable of logical reasoning and critical thinking in the same way as the conscious mind. This is why it's important to be assertive. This is why it's important to police your mind, because the subconscious mind won't police itself. The subconscious mind will not police itself. And if you've got no form of discipline on your thoughts, especially your thought being exposed to something that you don't like, you may see someone that reminds you of someone in the past that you didn't like. And because of that association in your mind, you now treat the person in front of you like the person in the past. That's not logical thinking. That's not logical reasoning or critical thinking. That's a serious blunder. We have to recognize that these type of things is where the mind is going to let us down if we do not police and put in proper instructions on how to treat the principles of thought. Understand to the critical level that you understand that whatever you say, if you're not feeling good, the next person who's listening to it is not going to feel good. So don't expect nothing good back. If you put out an ugly energy, don't expect back a good one. It's never gonna come. If you put out an energy and within you, it don't feel good. If you're not checking how you're feeling about it and you're just being blasé and flippant, that's even worse. You're not being assertive. You're not considering the environment and the energy that you're building up. You're not in it for what you want and everyone else. That's not goodness for yourself and everyone around you. That's selfishness. So we have to, if we're going to master self, we have to master understanding what it is that the subconscious level is doing and its incapabilities, and how do we tap in. Understanding its incapabilities gives us a doorway in to actually control what's coming out. So, firstly, the subconscious mind is not capable of logical reasoning and critical thinking in the same way as the conscious mind. It does not engage in conscious decision-making or analyze complex problems. Its process is largely based on stored information, patterns, and emotions rather than logical deduction. Additionally, the subconscious mind cannot differentiate between real or imagined experiences. It responds to the information it receives, whether from actual events or vivid imagination, in a similar manner. And again, the way how this, we've been culturally bred, vivid images, vivid, we're so responsive to vivid ideas. We see something we don't like. It makes such a vivid impact. It creates vivid, noticeable patterns in our behaviors straight away. We say we're accepting, but we don't check this vivid impact. That vivid, now everything nowadays is 4D camera, vivid shopping. I was in the shops the other day looking at the TVs. The TV pictures are so sharp nowadays. It looks sharper than real life. Real life has got this little blur. It's like it's analog. Outside is analog. There's a blur. The sunlight makes it blurry around the edges a little bit. But the TV is so vivid and sharp. More impact. You see an argument on TV, yeah, that's how you argue. You see this on TV, yeah, that's how you do it. One of the programs that really pressed the button for me in what I call destroying the mindset of females was Sex in the City. Disaster. All moral standings just. Anyway, let's roll on. The subconscious mind possesses a remarkable quality that can sometimes blur the line between reality and imagination. It responds to information it receives, whether from actual events or vividly imagined scenarios, in a similar manner. This fascinating aspect of the subconscious mind can be attributed to its ability to process information through sensory and emotional associations. Sensory and emotional associations. When we're climbing up the ladder of spirituality and we start getting into mantra works and we start getting into meditation, especially like one of my favorite mantras in teaching, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. When I'm translating it, I say Om Gwan Geto Tamiwe Man. Now, a lot of people laugh when they hear that. But principally, what I'm putting out there is that when you chant that mantra, because that mantra is about removing obstacles, if you just sit there and you're just chanting the mantra to see if you can pronounce it correctly, with no feeling towards removing obstacles, it's not going to remove obstacles. It's going to give you a round of applause for getting it right. Actually, it won't even do that. You're going to have a consistent sense of, am I getting it right? Am I going to get it right? Am I getting it right? Did I say it right? When's the blessing coming? Am I getting it right? Am I getting it right? That's what's going to be happening internally. But we got, okay, let's say you finally get it right. You finally get it right. Now you are to be sitting there thinking of whatever, get out of my way. Oh, I'm going to get out of my view. Emotional association, vivid sensory association. If all the guys are watching football and they see someone get kicked in the goalies or by accident, everyone in the room bends up like they felt the pain. Sensory and emotional association. Now, these things applied with discipline, applied with the security system in place, creates a new reality. It creates a new pattern of well-being, a new foundation of well-being, so the physiology can play a part and play along and allow the body to respond accordingly. What do I mean by that? Let's, for instance, say obesity. To challenge obesity, you have to think past, oh, I'm just not getting anywhere with this. You have to pass the mindset of, all of these health problems that are occurring because of my obesity. Maybe I need to address my health. I need to address this. But you're not challenging the obesity. It's like me not challenging the swimming. You've accepted it so much as a part of your being and you won't allow it to change. Through sensory and emotional association, whether it is real or not, the subconscious self needs a consistency of information that you believe is true for you. This is the key. Either you make the beliefs by putting the information in, or you just allow the subconscious mind to create beliefs for you and run on autopilot. The difference between running on autopilot is assertiveness, conscientious thinking, i.e., when I'm teaching meditation, the first part I say to people, listen to your mind, listen to your mind. Try and remember what the first thing you said when you got out of your bed. What was the first thing that your mouth engaged in? What was the first feeling that you had? What was the district? And the mind is off like a bullet. It's so good at it. Woof. The memory might be dull, but the mind is digging. Like, yeah, I'm allowed to ramp. And then I say to those that are practicing meditation now, with the power of intention, attention, and focus, just listen with your ears to everything around you. And in a split second, the mind shuts up. Because you're now listening. You're now making yourself present in the moment, and the mind now has to wait because you've consciously tensed the muscle of listening. Inner focal point. That's all it takes. Focus. You don't need dumbbells to focus. But without the focus, you won't lift up the dumbbell. So focus on positive things that allow yourself to see the outcome how you desire to be. Don't dwell on the state, don't dwell on the illness, don't dwell on the side effects. Because you're just going to be running around trying to patch up this, trying to patch up that, trying to patch up the blood toxicity. Now you're touching up too much. No, sort out the diet. Simple. Start with the diet. Start with your exercise. Start with your water intake. Start with the simple things. Discipline yourself to start with the simple things first. Have a discipline with the simple things. This is what we're leading up to. And the simple things in alignment with the vision of what it is you desire. A desirous mindset followed by desirous actions brings about desirous manifestations. So when we vividly imagine a situation, the subconscious mind perceives it as real and activates the same neural networks and emotional responses that would occur if the event were actually happening. For example, if you vividly imagine biting into a tangy lemon, you may notice your mouth watering or make facial muscles suddenly reacting as if you were experiencing it in real life. So, the more vivid you make the desire, the more vivid you make your words, your actions, your feelings in alignment to the outcome that you desire, the more appropriate, the more aligned you are to manifest the outcome that you're looking for. If you're searching for joy, you must run into it. If you're searching for an argument, you must run into it. If you're searching for a fight, you must run into it. Police yourself that you're only attuned to what it is you desire. Police your thoughts that your thoughts see you in a state of well-being first. Even if it's a lie right now, it doesn't matter. The subconscious self doesn't know it. The subconscious self is not logical. You have to get deep on the sub-programming. You have to get deep on the input. You have to get deep on the filtering. If you know a bad command went in, kill it with 10 positive. So the one negative doesn't stick around for long. If you said something untoward into yourself, say some 10 more positive things to yourself. If you said something untoward into someone, say 10 positive things to them. Wash it away. Allow positively. Police your state, police your environment. Only allow positivity to reign. Do not entertain bad thinking, bad vibes, bad energy, because it doesn't lead to nowhere prosperous. And it all starts with how or whether or not you are in control or programming the subconscious mind to respond or behave accordingly. You have the control, you have the keys to the subconscious self. Most therapists would teach you otherwise to keep the business going. You have the keys. So this phenomenon has been observed in various psychological studies, such as research on athletes using mental imagery to enhance performance. Athletes who mentally rehearse their routines or visualize successful outcomes can activate the same neural pathways and muscle memory as when they were physically performing the actions. This suggests that the subconscious mind cannot differentiate between imagined or real experiences, as it responds to both with a similar level of intensity. Athletes, they put, they put on these things on them, and while they're sitting down and meditating, they can see with all this EEG scanning and stuff whether the athlete is controlling his thoughts enough in the right pattern. Now you're not in touch with your body. You're not in touch with yourself, mate. You need to go deeper. They want to see that when you're meditating, you're running around, you can see that muscle's flinching. Yeah, he's in there, he's in the race. Yeah, he's in there, he's flinching, the muscles are in. Just like when you're deep into meditation or when you're deep into sleep and have this REM, where the muscles are just responding, the eyes, all of that space of sleep where the body's just doing stuff, activated by what's been stored in the subconscious self through the day. And now it's emptying out, it's healing, it's neutralizing itself, ready for a new day. So similarly, when athletes are taught to meditate, they want to see that the meditations are that deep, that intense, that while they're meditating, their body is flickering and responding and the legs twitching. Yeah, they're in contact. Mind and body are connected. It's been rehearsed. It's fine-tuned. They're thinking deep, like how the winner really is passionate about winning. If you're not passionate about joy, if you're not passionate about your own happiness, if you're not passionate about your service in maintaining happiness around you, what do you think is going to happen? Anyway, let's roll on. Enhancing the subconscious mind. Practice visualization. Engage in regular visualization exercises where you vividly imagine yourself achieving your goals, achieving your state, achieving the feeling. When I used to do morning meditations, I'm going to actually start back up again for next month. We do a thing called, sometimes we do inner child meditation. Sometimes we do day trajectory meditations. And in this day trajectory meditation, it's all about going into the heart space, seeing yourself and others around you, communicating in a loving manner, seeing others appreciating and loving you for your state of being, not what you're doing, for your state of being. And this is enhanced in the meditation, that so much so that anyone that does that meditation will always report at the end of it, I have had a fantastic day. No matter who I spoke to, there was love and laughter, there was tears of joy, there was abundance of aid, there was, people just decided to help me, people that said, it's because of how you started your day. I had a beautiful sister call me a few weeks ago from our May retreat. She called me and she said, Brother Tarun, I have to talk to you. I know I'm not quite sure. I said, why, what's happened? What's going on? She goes, things are just brilliant. I'm doing the mantras, I'm doing exactly what you said and everything's working. I said, what's the problem? How long is it always going to stay like this? How long does it last? I had to laugh to myself. All right. You're doing it right, sis. You're doing it right. You're on your meditations. You're on your policing of your vibe output. You know the state that you want to be in when you enter any form of communication. You're in that loving space. You're putting it out there. The universe must respond. Because it's so strange, you know, I dropped my bag. I went shopping and the bag fell out and about 5, 6 people just rushed towards me, picking up the goods for me and da. It was, I just can't, you know, people saying, you know, one of the biscuits package just opened, the guy that lived by, he ran and got me. I was like, Jesus, this is what it is. This is the, and you see, when you live and contain yourself in a loving space, just meeting people, like they just connect with you. They just in life's optimum vibrating energy. You have to know what life's optimum vibrating energy feels like for you. This is how my space feels like. When we talk about dharma, protecting that space, that don't allow it, you know, it's best where you take away yourself. You know that song in Jamaica, when you take away yourself, when you sense negativity, just take away yourself. Don't be a part of it. You ain't got time to waste. Take away yourself. Just leave it. Go and do something positive. There's always something better, something positive to do to enhance how you feel, because that's what's important. You're allowing yourself to feel the way you want to feel because you set that up. Or if you didn't set it up, you're not policing your system enough to allow joy to rule your space. So, practicing visualization, affirmations and positive self-talk, journaling and self-reflection. Engaging in journaling and self-reflection, just like I said in the beginning, we talk about self-reflecting. It could come at the end of the day when we first start to reflect, what could I have done better? Where did I go wrong? How could I improve? If we're not doing that, we're not growing. We're devolving. If we're going to bed with a bit of heart and a bit of mind, we're devolving. The beautiful place that where we was at the last week, just for the last week, you know, and being exposed to so much people with new temperaments and new this and new that, I made sure whatever it is, even if I've got to sit down in the sauna at the end of the day, steam up my body. Every night I went sauna. I was in the sauna till 2, 3 o'clock sometimes, and in the jacuzzi 2, 3 o'clock, emptying to make sure I do not go to bed vexed. And this is after encountering with multitude. Make sure is that so I can go to sleep, and this is how I can operate on 3, 4 hours sleep, get up and be neutral for the whole day. Do what's necessary. So journaling, self-reflecting, looking at what could be done better, rather than what pushed my button, what could be done better. Hypnosis, like I said before, either self-hypnosis or guided imagery, another powerful way to influence the subconscious mind. We're going to be looking at that. Meditation and mindfulness. Again, another powerful, you know, we've got to overlook the simplicity of these words and look at it more like the tool of management, self-management. Like, you know, if you're maintaining a car, if you're managing a car, if you don't service it, it will pop down on you. If you don't put petrol in it, it's not going anywhere. So in this sense, this is how we have to look at meditation and mindfulness. These are necessary tools. These are tools for keeping the system in alignment. when my brain is overfried and I can't think, the last thing I put to go to sleep is Gayatri. I have to just draw for Gayatri, shut my mind up, play Gayatri, wind down. And by the time Gayatri is not even finished, I'm just like peaceful as a baby, peaceful as a, I'm peaceful now. I'm beautiful. I can sleep. I wake up, I feel like I'm still in Gayatri. That's like, because I've gotten into the sweetness of how that mantra feels. If I go to bed with turbulence and I still put on Gayatri, that's it, dance done. I'm out. I'm sleeping peacefully. I cannot go to sleep vexed because I know it will destroy the following day. So for me to stay optimum, that when I need to perform and be on my top performance, these things become critical. And it's not about just, trying to look spiritual and says, Shanti, Shanti, Sha. No, it's not that. Literally, you could do it while you're walking to work. You could do it with your headphones on. You could do it in your own little private space of just, it doesn't even need to look like anything. You know that you've internally gone through a process where you've distilled your thoughts. You've distilled your appropriate, what's the word? Your approach to how you think. You've distilled it. You purified it. You run it like a police. You're on it. No, don't think like that. No, don't, because once you think like that, you will act like that. You will behave like that. And then it's all off. Like you said, and like I said, those patterns of negative thinking falls into the tamasic arena where you're creating illness on an ignorant level to yourself and others around you. Which leads finally to create empowering environments. Create empowering environments, surround yourself with positive influences, supportive people, and inspirational materials. Your external environment plays a significant role in shaping your subconscious programming. Choose environments that align with your desired outcomes and reinforce positive beliefs. Now, you could be in worst case scenario, and in that environment, let's say, for instance, you could be in, you hear a lot of stories like this. You could be here, some people could be in incarceration and they might stick a picture of their daughter or their newborn or something up, which reminds them to stay good so they don't have to end up spending longer service or getting themselves killed in prison or something. They anchor them. They just need one little thing in the environment that says, yeah, I remember why I'm doing this. I know why I'm doing this. And that one little thing in the environment would change. It would shut out the impressions of what the rest of the external environment. If you're doing it to gain experiences so you can have your own, whatever, you just stick just a little, you want to buy a new car, you want to do whatever it is, just have a little anchor, a little picture, a little something in your environment that every time you're going to find your eyes fall into it regularly, because that's what you like, that's what you desire, that's what you're doing this for, that's what your actions are appropriated to. This is why you're this is why you're doing what you're doing. And this is what's giving you the joy, because the outcome is perceived through what it is you're focused on, not what is in your contrast, not on the obstacles, on what you're focused on, the end goal. Repetition is consistency. That's another thing in building up discipline. Emotional healing and release, and mindful consumption. Mindful consumption in being aware of what you take in, what you've already taken in that is working against you, or what is unnecessary to have. Mindful consumption. Be mindful of the information you consume, whether through media, conversations, or entertainment. Choose content that nourishes and empowers your subconscious mind. Avoid negativity and limiting beliefs. Avoid the word can't. Okay, so before we roll on, so this is really very deep. As you can see, I'm very passionate about this. You know, there's so much to reflect on, but I'm going to take a little break now to bring Sister Laverne on because, you know, it's such an exciting revelation in understanding this connectivity on such deep, subtle levels, and what she has to deal with when we're talking about posture alignment. And, you know, your posture tells a story. I look at your posture before you even talk. I know what you're going to say. I know where you're coming from just from your posture. So your posture really shows off what's happening between brain and heart. And Sister Laverne, I'm going to bring her in now to come and say a deep, to share with you some deep information from where she's coming from. And yes, I don't want to keep you too long because we do want to continue this tomorrow, going in deeper into the constructs. I really did want to touch on the importance of understanding the subconscious level and the delicacy of how thought plays a major role on the mismanagement of thoughts, and the mismanagement of mind thoughts, and the mayhem that it can cause for yourself in your well-being and others around you. Sometimes people's attitude is not just making themselves sick, it's making everybody around it, just people just avoiding the whole scenario. And alienation sets it even deeper. So, without further ado, I'm just going to pause the camera so Sister Laverne can come on and share her knowledge with you. Thank you for your time so far. If you're feeling what is being said in the deepness, let me see some ones in the chat room from who's listening. If you think Tarun is going deep today, let me see some response in the chat room as Sister Letitia swaps over. Laverne swaps over. Yes, Alicia, I know you're on this thing, you know. I know you're seriously on this thing. Yes, Jamie, Romanita, yes, bless up, I can see. Coming through. Okay, here we go. Sister Laverne. Let me just mute the camera. Come through, my sister, and jump into the spot. What's this here? Hey.
Here I am. Hey, greetings, everyone. It's really exciting to be here. I've literally just come back from the beach shooting some yoga videos because I had a plethora of people asking that I should have done them a long time ago, I'll be real. But yeah, I've literally just come off the beach. So please excuse the look. But yeah, I'm really excited to speak to you about posture alignment. I think what T was speaking to you about, oh my gosh, that is so, I really hope that you heard what he was saying. He was giving you so many nuggets there. Yeah, so your posture, when it comes down to the physical body, this is the last line of defense. Your physical body is the last line of defense. You have all, you know, your spiritual body, the emotional body, the intelligent body. The physical body is where things show up. So it's the hardest place really to make the changes. If we made these changes on a higher level, the physical would follow.
Say that again. Oh my gosh, please. Oh my gosh. Did you
Mhm.
hear that? Sorry.
He's coming back in. He's coming
Sorry.
back in.
Don't throw the words away like that. Say that again, please, because that's a very important point.
The physical body is the last line of defense. Making changes on higher levels, it will trickle down. Okay. That's not to say that you can't do things on a physical level, because this is what most of us see. We see the physical, we don't see the more etheric levels of self. So this is where things play out. So this is where T was saying that he can look at the posture and know what you're going to say. It's because the posture is saying what you're thinking. That this is how, body language and all these things, I think it's something like 9% of what you say are your words. The rest is everything else to do with how you're coming across, the way that you're holding your body, etc., etc. Okay, so yes, physical posture alignment. So this is why, for me, as a yoga teacher, counselor, that I find this so fascinating. The posture side of things. If I sit like this, with my chest all caved in, I mean, what are you going to think? You're going to think I'm down. I mean, my chest is closed, my heart is closed. Chest up, shoulders back. I look like I'm ready for something, It's having that confidence in the way that you walk. So these are little things that you can do to trick the subconscious mind into these new programs that you're putting into place. Okay, so what affects your posture? It's your mood. It can be heritage. It can be your diet, the exercise you do, your emotions, your lifestyle, the work that you do. All of these things are going to affect your posture. I've seen a lot of, with the clients that I have, I see a lot of tightness in the shoulders, a lot of tight hip flexors, people sitting down all day, people feeling like they've got the weight of the world on their shoulders. So yeah, something that T said earlier about the subconscious not recognizing whether something's true or not. These things show up in your body regardless of whether they're true or not. You may look like you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. You may feel that, but it might not be true. But your body is going to react to what it believes. Okay, so this is where you can use the body to kind of trick the subconscious that you're feeling slightly different. So when you're feeling down, smile. I mean, it might be cheesy. It might feel really unnatural. But when you're feeling down, do something different. If you keep doing what you've done, you're going to get the same as you've always got. Self-talk. How are we talking to ourselves? When you're talking to yourself in a positive way and you feel really good, your posture is going to be different. Yeah. Things that can affect your posture: judgment, criticism, competitiveness, one-upmanship. I'm better than them. That kind of attitude. We're all on this spiritual life journey. We're all here. We're all here. That's why we're all here. So we're all looking to get through this, to enjoy this journey, to make the most of the journey. So we don't need to compete with anybody. The only person that you're competing with is yourself. Yeah, you're aiming to make yourself better than you was yesterday, not better than whoever else. And I really liked what T was saying about even down to like gossip, how destructive these things can be, because talking about somebody else means that you're not focused on yourself. How are you going to get better if you're focusing on other people? You need to focus on yourself, especially if you are looking at this as, your journey and, you want to move forward. Talking about other people won't help. But saying that, hurt people. Okay. So people that are hurt may well lash out. They may well do things that hurt others. That's not saying that we should let them. Okay, we have compassion for that. But again, looking at your intake. So this isn't just to do with food. It's your intake as to social media, TV, friends, family, etc. For me, if you are obviously, as I expressed on the retreat, because some people aren't aware of this, but yoga isn't religious. Yoga is a way of life. It's a way to function through life. So there are the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga, which are set out as social management, which are called the yamas, self-management, niyamas, body management, asanas, breath management, pranayama, sense management or disciplines, you could say, pratyahara, concentration management or disciplines, dharana, meditation management, dhyana, and it all results in total integration of the self, samadhi. That's where we're in that point of bliss, where just being is the bliss, where we're not focused on being better than someone or what somebody else is doing. We're focused on.
Yeah, you're going too fast. You're going too fast. Sorry.
I'm trying to get it all in. I'm trying to get it all in.
Too fast. No, you're going too fast. Sorry. Break down those 8 again. Spell them out. Let them hear. Let them do the research. Let them know what you're talking about, because this is important things. We like to bring facts, not just hypotheses, facts. And these are eternal facts that have been noted, described in Sanskrit writings from the Dhammas. These are the cornerstones of understanding what Dharma, Artha, Karma, and Moksha is all about. These 8 limbs are important. You just dropped a gem. Do not run over it in 2 minutes.
Sorry, people. I was just trying to get as much in before, the clock ticks off.
They love what you're saying. Trust me. Okay. Those 8 points, write them down, people. Research them, Google them. It's all in alignment with understanding the holistic approach to self-healing to secure health and secure mind. These are big, major points. Please go again, please.
I do apologize if I was whizzing through those. Okay, so we'll start again. So 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga. So these aren't just applicable within Ashtanga yoga. It's applicable, anybody who's following their religion, they will be following these 8 limbs. Just naturally. This is a natural way to live. So the first one, social management, how you conduct yourself in the great outdoors, okay? How you manage social situations, how you manage yourself with the government, all these different things are all come under the yamas. How do you manage yourself, how do you manage socially, I shall say. Kind of the do's and do nots, as it were. And that's the self for the niyamas as well. Where do you restrict yourself? What things is it important to do? As I say, cleanliness next to godliness. That doesn't come from nowhere. The thing about, and it's not just about being hygienic. It's about not hoarding stuff. Why are you hoarding things? We're hoarding things because we're worried, fearful that we won't have. That's why we hoard, So addressing all of these points comes under the yamas and niyamas of the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga. So that's just in case if you want to have a look at this understanding, the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga. And there was a book written by Patanjali, so you can look that up. The third limb is asana. So asana means posture, body management, body disciplines. What do you do to manage your body? Okay. Now, Patanjali said that there's one prime posture that you need to have, and that's sitting. Sitting so you can meditate. He didn't say that you need to be doing this and that and all the rest of it, but he did say it's important to be able to sit and sit still. Part of our yoga practice, asana practice, is to make the body limber enough that you can sit still. It's really a challenge for people to sit still. If I said to you, sit still now, the minute I said sit still, it'd be like, oh, I've got a little twitch, and then I just want to scratch it. You know, it's just how we are. But this is the thing, is in our practice, what we learn to do is observe those thoughts, observe what happens, and just let it drift by. These aren't always things that we have to move by. We don't have to be moved by our feelings, by our thoughts. We can just observe them and see what happens as we let them drift by. Okay. But this still comes under asana, because this is the one thing that I really found for myself through a yoga practice, was I became so aware of my inner dialogue. It's excellent, especially what T was saying earlier on about knowing what you're thinking every 15 minutes. If you have the time to make those notes, it will not be wasted time. It will be, you will be surprised. And it's one of those things that you don't share it with others. It's just for you. So, you know, you can be as honest as you like. It's nobody else is going to read it, but you need to know what it is that you're thinking, what it is you might need to address. And work out whether, you know, that self-talk, whether it's a friend or an enemy, you know. Would you keep a friend like your mind? And obviously, it's the whole thing, is our mind is with us for this whole, you know, life journey. So we want a friend. We don't want an enemy. Okay. So that's one of the reasons that I found yoga so powerful, is within my practice, I am so aware of the thoughts that come on, whether it's, oh, I don't know if I can be bothered to do this today. Oh, I don't know if I can do that. Well, I could do it last week. You know, all these kind of thoughts come up, but it's not just relevant on your yoga mat. You'll find that these thoughts, this self-talk, runs on a program. So it doesn't just happen in your yoga practice. It happens when you're at work. It happens when you're with the family. All of these same self-talk will come up. So this is why it's worth knowing what it is, and it's worth addressing it if it's not a friend for you. Right, so we're up to the third limb. So fourth limb, pranayama, breath management, breath disciplines. So I know everybody on here knows about that. I don't have to spend any time. I know that T has taken you through that, so you understand how the breath can change how you're thinking, how you're feeling, how your body is postured. So I'm not going to go into that too much, because I think that you are aware of that, and you know that there are lots of different breath techniques for different things. You know, there's breath techniques to cool the body. There's breath techniques to fire up the body. There's breath techniques to calm the body. There's breath techniques to stimulate the body into movement. So that's breath disciplines, breath management. Then we've got sense disciplines, discipline of your senses. So pratyahara, sense withdrawal. This is where you withdraw from certain things, whether it's silence. Silence is a big one. It is a real challenge. It's not easy to be in silence. It seems like it's going to, well, I can't say that actually, because it's the easiest thing, it's the hardest thing. You know how it goes. Like, it's the best of times or the worst of times. You know that saying. It can be it seems so simple, but it will bring out a lot. So if you are thinking about doing silence, definitely have your journal with you. Definitely make notes of what's coming up, what's bubbling up. I do like T's term, the mind farts. I think that's hilarious. Yeah, but being aware of what's coming up. So that can happen through silence, through stillness, through switching off the TV, through in meditation. So all of these aspects, every single one that I'm mentioning is taking you to that aspect of bliss. So concentration and meditation are both aspects that can help you get closer to that bliss self, that idea of being and being blissful. So, you know, just being blissful. And I think it's definitely more of a challenge as we get older. People are just like, oh, you know, back in the good old days, you know, I don't have the body I had. And, you know, so many things that be like, oh, I used to have that, I haven't got it anymore. You know, so there's so many things that you could be caught up and attached to. But that idea of letting go and finding the bliss where you are, wherever you are in your journey, on your practice, that takes you to that point of samadhi, which is total integration. So within psychology, it's seen as self-actualization, self-realization. It's understanding the power of self. It's understanding the self is more than the labels, than the history, than all of these programs. There's something far, far deeper. And being not just aware, but allowing that aspect to guide you instead of kind of always analyzing, like, I think, just being, you know, you don't have to always, sometimes you have to grow your wings on the way down. Sometimes you're just going to have to go for it. And especially if you are suffering with any ailments, any health conditions, you know, this is definitely the time for you to start addressing this, because it's showing up within the body. Yeah. So that's the 8 limbs of Ashtanga yoga. Obviously, posture, a very small part of the whole lot, but you can start to make small changes even with your posture. So I know for those that were on the retreat, hopefully they will take some of the words away. Look at yourself in the mirror. Look at how you're standing. Look at the way you stand. You know, I'm guilty. Hold my hands up. I tend to, you know, stand into one leg. If I continually do that without addressing it, I'm going to have one muscle that's shorter, tighter than the other, and all that's going to lead to is issues. Yeah, and that's what we're trying to avoid. I'm going to recommend for you guys a book. So where T was talking about this aspect of having meaning, absolutely. You have to be living for something. There's got to be a purpose for your being. And if you haven't found one yet, I'm gonna like invite you to search for one. We can't always live just for our children or for our parents. But if that's the one thing that is giving you joy right now, then that's fine. Work with that until you can actually find joy in your being. It's because all of these other things will disappear. Children will leave home, find their own families, you know, our parents will age, you know, in the natural course of life. So attachment is one of those things that we have to address. And maybe we're attached to the way that we take ourselves through the day. Maybe we don't walk much. Maybe we don't do any exercise. Maybe we watch the news every morning before we leave the house. These are things that are going to put our body into certain states, put our mind into certain states. So if we can address these, obviously, as I mentioned, the physical is the last line of defense. It means it's flown through all of these other aspects of self, and it's manifested here because you haven't taken notice of something that you could take notice of. So hopefully that all makes sense to you. I'm trying to go really quick because I know that time is precious, and I know that he wants to.
No, you're doing well, sister. Trust me, you're doing well. Take your time, please. Take your time, please.
All right. Okay. So yeah. So especially things such as perceptions. Okay, and I like the stereotype that that he brought in earlier on, because we all have this perception of, you know, whether, you know, whether it's of, you know, a young hooded male, whether it's a young girl with a pair of shorts on. You know, we can all have these perceptions, but these are the things that we need to challenge, because this is where we can end up with judgment and criticism. These show up in your body. Yeah. So be kind to ourselves and aim to avoid these things. We could say it's for someone else. We could say out of compassion, don't judge another. But if I said to you, actually, judging somebody else, gossiping about somebody else is going to harm you. You know, you're going to see it slightly differently. You're going to, hopefully, you're going to see that actually you have a vested interest in addressing any issues that come up. And I'm not sitting here like, you know, oh, I'm so perfect and I'm floating up to the heavens as we speak. No, it's something that we do on a daily basis. Yeah, we will have to deal with this on a daily basis. That's why we're here on this in this learning ground. I wrote a little piece the other day. I'm just trying to remember how it went, but it's something like failure brings learning. Learning brings progress. Progress brings change. So don't be afraid to fail. Yeah, failure is
Write that down.
Failure is your friend. Yeah, if you have failed, it means that you have given it something. If you have not failed, it means you have not given it a good go yet. Yeah, there is failure is part of the journey of success. Yeah.
Failure is learning.
Okay, I'll say it.
Learning is progress. Progress is change. Come on.
So I'll say it again, just in case you didn't hear T in the background. Failure brings learning. Learning brings progress. Progress brings change. So we want to fail. We want to have the learning. This is a learning ground. This is our earthly experience. It's here to observe, to learn, and to learn that what we give out is what we get back. So the world that's reflecting back at us, if we're sitting down talking about moaning and how terrible the world is, this is our projection. This is how people will view you. So if you can view the world, you know, it's perception, and it may take some time. It's not easy. Some days, you know, you might hear something that really, you know, really gets you, and you're just like, oh my gosh, that really, like, I felt that. But then it's to bring yourself and be like, okay, firstly, was that even real? Half the stuff we see on TV has all been put together. I'm sorry to say that, but I truly, you know, feel that. Even with a film, if you think about watching movies, when you watch a movie, I'm, you know, totally guilty of this. I can watch a movie and I can be crying like it was real. I know it's not real, but the emotions don't know it's not real. I'm still crying tears as if it happens. So this is that thing of watching your intake and what you're taking in. Because it does guide your perception, it will guide your stereotypes, which will guide your judgment. So if we're aiming to kind of steer away from judgment and criticism, we need to be viewing things that are more harmonious. We need to be viewing things that are more compassionate. And this isn't to say to turn your back on the news, like, I won't watch it. Oh God, I don't know, it's terrible. No, we're aiming to get to that point of indifference. I know the news is on, but I'm just not interested. You know, it's a difference to kind of blocking it off because I'm scared to know what's happening. That's going to bring fear into you anyway. Is that you get to that point of, I don't really care what the news is saying, because if I open my front door, that is the news. This is my world. This is my reality. Most of us, if we open our front door, it's pretty peaceful, you know. We haven't got a war on our doorstep. We don't have food shortages. Most of us have got food in the cupboard, you know. So the things that are fed to you can become part of your reality, can make and part of your perception, and ultimately will end up in your body. Really run through it. But hopefully you've got a good grasp of what I'm talking about, and that's been helpful. What can I give you at this point? Posture-wise, I would always give to you to keep your shoulders back and to keep the heart open. This is the most important aspect of the self. As science has now discovered, the heart has more networks going to the brain than the brain to the heart. Yeah, you can be brain dead and alive, but your heart can't be dead, and you can, you know, it's all over if that's the case. So the point is to work with from the heart space, keeping that love alive for yourself. If you have love for yourself, you won't be one of the hurting people. So, you know, that's a telltale sign in itself. Okay. Yeah, but hopefully that all made sense in some which way. And
Beautiful.
you're able to take some of that forward. Again, what would I leave you with? Shoulders back, chest up. If you're sitting in a chair all day, get out of that chair. Do some I don't know if I can show you here. Sorry, I've come from the beach. But coming up onto your toes, and just because you can't see my legs, but I'm coming up onto tiptoes. Okay, just coming up and doing this. If you can't get out because it's like, oh, I've got to stay at the desk all day, you can do this, and this is helping metabolism. This is helping to regulate your glucose levels in your body. Okay, so you might be like, do you know what? I'm overweight. I find it difficult to run. You can do this. Most of us can do this. Okay, even if you're sitting in the chair, you can just lift your knees up from the chair. Look, I can do it from the. You can't see me, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it. And I'm lifting my toes up from the floor. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Shoulders back, heart open, and moving. Okay, that will help your posture, as to will your intake, not just of food, but what you listen to, what you watch, the company you keep. So, I'm out, guys.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I can't do a smooth transition like Tim, because I don't know what to press.
That's fine.
So
That's fine.
I've just got to fade.
Wasn't that? Let me see some ones for that, people. Let me see some ones. Look, I'm getting fire bombs. I'm getting fire bombs. That was pure, insightful fire. Oh my gosh, that was fire. That was absolutely on point. That was a killer. I just need to find my glasses. 1 second, people. That was magical. Where did I put them? That's fine. That was superb. Oh my gosh, that was so superb. So, I'm not even going to hold you too much longer. I'm just going to quickly flash through what we're going to go through tomorrow. And, you know, say that again. Did somebody say something?
Sorry. I said I didn't get the name of the book.
Oh, the name of the book, sister.
Yes.
Man's.
Go.
The name of the book is Man's Search for Meaning, and it's by Viktor Frankl. And he came up with a therapy called logotherapy. So it's part of kind of a psychology kind of reading, but you will find it so helpful. So, and if you can't be bothered to read it, you can listen to it on YouTube. So there's no excuses. Absolutely none. And to be quite honest, I'll be open with you. It took me a few years to read this book, because when I started to read it, I found it a challenge to read. And at that point, I was dealing with turning off the TV, not taking in any news. But as I was sharing with you, that I was doing it kind of almost more in a fearful thing, like I don't want to see it, it's too distressing. But actually there was so much in this book that if you can continue reading it, yeah, it's definitely one to read. As along with The Alchemist, I love that one as well.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
The Alchemist, Pablo Coelho.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. Man's Search for Meaning. Powerful stuff, people. Very powerful, insightful stuff. So, you know me. Let me just share back this. This is where we was. Let me just have a look as to where we are. Okay. Just give me a second. Wow, we're on slide number 14, and I've done 43 slides. So it's a part 2 and then some. And what we've covered tonight, imagine I set this up. Well, the course was already written before I even I knew exactly the framework of the course. I wrote this course before I even done the retreat. So I've over planned the information. You know me, I'm always doing that. Kareem's always got so much stuff. But the important thing to really stress on tonight is the subtle nature of the subconscious mind and how we have a access to it through vivid imagination. The 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga perfectly highlighted the holistic approach when we're talking about yamas, niyamas, the do's and the don'ts. Just to quickly flash, I'm going to do this at super speed. Super speed. We're going to talk about the placebo effect. We're going to talk about the nocebo effect. Okay. We're going to talk about thoughts, feelings, actions, results. We're going to talk about negative thoughts and how it creates your biorhythmic deal with the universe, what you're manifesting while you're under this spell. We're going to look at the negative thought cycle in deep analytical form. What does it do to the body? What does it do to your environment? What does it do to your process of manifestation? We're going to look at the loop of perfectionism and procrastination. We're going to look at the do's and don'ts of internal monologue. We're going to look at the do's of what you're supposed to be doing. We're going to look at the don'ts of what you're not supposed to be doing. We're going to set up this police system. We're going to make sure that you're the one with the smiley face, whilst regardless of what's happening in your environment, you're holding steady, you're disciplined to your joy and your joy alone. And we're going to look at the effects of negative gossip, physiologically, psychologically, socially, what it does to your purpose and intent, and how it destroys your identity with self and others around you, seeing you in a completely different light. Again, we're going to be looking at protecting your joy, the construct of Dharma, including the 8 limbs. Karma. We're going to look at water, The normal brain, the dehydrated brain, its effect. This is one simple thing: to drink your water. We're going to be looking at understanding the pH level of the water that you're supposed to be drinking. A lot of the water that you're drinking from the supermarkets fall very low in pH level and creating acid in your body, creating bad moods in your body, creating cancerous states in the body. We're going to also tie, most cancer patients have to go through, or are recommended to go through meditation to clear out their thought process, because the thought process has very much to do with the sickness in the body. As Laverne said, the body is the last line of defense, because this is where it shows up. So, a great book to really understand that is another a book. I'm surprised Laverne didn't mention this book. She brought it to my attention many years ago. It's called Your Body Speaks Your Mind. Very powerful book. Your Body Speaks Your Mind. Who was that written by?
Deb Shapiro.
Deb Shapiro. Yeah, we're going to look at serotonin, process of how it's made. We're looking at this thing on a scientific level, really deep. We're not missing nothing. We're going to look at the information of how serotonin is built in the body, what you're supposed to be doing and what you're not supposed to be doing. The process of these things in accordance to the circadian rhythm as well also. We're going to look at understanding that the serotonin in the body, 95% is in the gut, and how it's important to respect your gut. We're going to look at the difference between brain and the connectivity between brain of the consciousness of the brain and consciousness of the gut to support consciousness of the heart. We're going deep, people. We're going to look at all of these aspects of food intake, exercises. As you can see on the diagram, I'm just flicking through the 43 slides just to show you I wasn't making this up. I've already done, and this is just day one. We're going to look at the chemicals that create joy in the system and how to be constant in that form of habit, from thought all the way down to the material level of the food intake and everything in between. We're going to look at gut health. We're going to look at hormone imbalances that are caused from poor gut health. We're going to look at illnesses that occur from poor gut health. Gut health is the key to the whole system. It's like, this is, okay, let's start with the gut. If you want to feel good about anything, let's start with the gut. The first thing to please the gut is drink water. The gut, the brain, the heart, the lungs need it. The most important thing to take away today to implement change is, how can I drink more water of the right type, the right pH level? Start looking into the pH level of water and flushing the system of toxins that are in the gut. So you can lighten the weight in the gut, lighten the mood of the body, the agility and flexibility of the body, and strengthen the mind-body connection. We're going to look at the common causes of depression. We're going to look at the shifting of the internal dialogue and how to implement tools to bring about consistent growth at 0.5% a day. Okay, so that's what tomorrow's part will be. Including some other bits and pieces. So as you can see, we are going very, 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 very deep on this secure health, secure mind. And we're starting from the first point of reference of self, which is thought. And what can thought do? How do we treat our thoughts? Or how are our thoughts playing us? It's a quite difficult sentence to say. How are our thoughts treating us? Where do we interject? And where and how do we apply progress? These critical things are key from a thought level, and that thought level has to be in alignment with the inner joy of self, not under the perception of need to do it, not under the perception of fear of not doing it, or fear of outcomes, of getting rid of the idea of fear, allowing desire to take that place. A healthy desire, and approaching it on a holistic level, mental, intuitive, emotional, subconscious, physical, physiological, sit up, shoulders back, heart out. So it's a powerful, powerful 2-day course. You might have to run it through the whole month because there's so much to get through. So much to get through, and I do not want to miss a iota. You know me, I like to really turn up the whole thing and look underneath the hood and give it a whole steam clean till we got a brand new, sparkling, shining engine. We didn't just change the spark plugs. Yeah. We're doing oil filter, air filter, everything, changing the block, degreasing, washing out the whole thing so we can run smooth. Yes? All right, people. So without further ado, I am not going to hold you any longer because it's now approaching minutes to 10. Thank you all for coming along. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your focus and attention. And I will see you all tomorrow. If you had a wonderful time, please fire some ones up in the chat room so we can see that you're in tune to the knowledge and in tune to the insights. And stay blessed, people. Stay in tune to the highest of self. Stay in tune to joy. Bring joy to the party. Bring love to the party. Bring positivity to the party. Be what you want to see. Yeah? People, much love. Stay progressive. Stay blessed. Om Shanti. Namaste. See you tomorrow. Stay blessed.